this is really Brendan's day. It's his birthday in, I think, a week, Brendan, is it? The 23rd of May. Basically, I was trying to think of a word to sum up Brendan, and the word I came up with was prodigious, because he has produced 15 books of poetry, and with the 16th on the way. I think that's, he has justified the use of the word prodigious in that. And looking at his life and trying to sort of put it into some sort of shape, I've chosen to begin really in the 70s, where he would have been digesting a lot of the material that he had lived up to then. He was born in 1949, and his first poem was published in 1967 in Patrick Kavanagh commemorative issue. Patrick died in 1967. There was a booklet brought out to commemorate him, and Brendan was asked to participate in that. So he was, even at that stage, he was sort of coming through. But he had travelled in the 60s in the Middle East, and as I say, in the 70s, he was digesting a lot of that material, and his first book was published in 1972. What's the name of that? Brendan, what's the name of the first book?
Severed Wing.
The Severed Wing. The Severed Wing. Through the 70s then and sort of into the 80s, I think the thing about the 80s is there are a whole new set of influences begin to come in.
I will give a brief account of my career as a poet, and will try to read a couple of poems from each collection. In 1960, at the age of 11, I decided to become a writer and typed up my first short story on my father's typewriter. I will start by reading my first published poem, Nominala, which appeared in the Patrick Kavanagh commemorative broadsheet in 1967, the year of his death. Nominala. A staircase of light descends through rain-filled clouds, and rainbow-coloured shrapnel ricochets its gemmed flights, dipping to gaunt trees, spread-eagled in purple darkness, each finger flowered with stars and bells of vibrant frost. Gliding along leaf-strewn paths in the tropical skirts of woodland, moss dumbs the mouth of sound and lines its muffled beard in stern winterland. Wood ash fires, stormy minds, foam of delirium, staggering malnutrition of thought, separates the sap of rose-dried seed and kneads its terrific octave monotones into the ribbed chords of a waxed soul. When I arrived home from India in 1972, I spent a year writing my first collection, A Severed Wing. This book was an attempt to come to terms with loss. This collection was not published until 1987 by Michael Compson's Voice Free Press. When I moved from Clare to Dublin in 1984, I got involved with Voice Free. A Severed Wing was published together with a second collection called Walk of the Sun. I'm going to read two poems from Walk of the Sun. The first one I'm going to read is called Going Home in Bits. going home in bits to the insane beat of a human drum, sex screaming in the avenue, going home in bits to a desert of laundered hearts, to the inescapable hemorrhage of heartbreak, going home in bits to a tear in flames, to a cathedral that sings of a stolen choir, going home in bits to a house in motion, to a bed in labour, to a lost mirage. The second poem, the last one I'm going to read from my second collection, Walk in the Sun, is called Rose, as in flower. For each rose there is a sun. For each pebble an original ocean. For each heart an accumulation of love. For the genius of men a worthy receptacle of light. For each female flower a mimic of flesh on flesh. For each crazy dancer crying outside the dance hall of life, a rose. In the warped perspectives of this room, with the walls and the squeaking furniture, and there is laughing beyond these walls of matter. Unsane I am, unsane of brain, unsane omnipresence I remain, no self, yet the abode for other selves. One omni-self from all self. Thank you.